struck, at least in Luke's account, before Peter reaches for the sword, Jesus is praying in the garden. He's really frustrated that his friends keep falling asleep. But he tells them, you need to be praying so that you don't fall into temptation.
Right.
Had Peter stayed awake and been praying, maybe he wouldn't have reached for his sword. Maybe he wouldn't have been rebuked. But he was asleep at the wheel.
Well, welcome to Between Sundays. I'm Tyler, and since I'm the one you want, let all the others go. Today we're sheathing our swords and making light work of the topic of hatred. But before we refuse to call in the angels, now that they've slashed the ears of people they've never met, let's welcome in our favorite co-hosts, Maron and Barry, and birthday boy, Milton.
Happy birthday to you. Hey, happy birthday, Milton.
What's up, guys? Happy birthday, Milton. We're doing this on your birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, God is good.
Yeah, could you believe that we've got balloons?
Yeah.
That was
Producer Liz just like...
very thoughtful.
Yeah, very thoughtful.
I'm so excited. Now we're all the same age.
Are we?
No,
We're close,
I'm a wee
close.
bit ahead of you.
Yeah, she's like 45 now.
I gotta tell you this story. So, man was preaching at the kids service, and she kept saying, I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
like, man, we are 12 months and 4 days apart.
Oh, yeah.
What are you talking about?
You're just a baby, Milton.
You want to know
You're
what it
just a
feels
baby.
like to be old?
Yes.
I will tell you. I was at the student ministries on Sunday, last Sunday, doing kind of a recap version of my message on the broken place of decay, and I made a comment about Captain Planet.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody there looked at me with
why?
completely blank stares,
course
and
they
of course they did.
Why?
But it's like here's how old I am.
He took pollution down to 0.
He did. He already did it. But not only do they not get that reference, they've never heard that reference. Like, it's not even like, oh, that's that thing from the olden times. No, they've never even heard of it.
Well, right back at you, teens. I don't know what you guys are watching these days either.
For the teens watching, I will be much more hip.
All right.
Next
Yeah.
all right.
week.
Okay. Well, why is
To
this?
our-
Why are you much more hip?
Because I used to be a teacher.
Used to be operative word. You were hip 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Lots of things has changed since then.
I
Can
did
we-
enough research.
Realistically, can anyone over age of 40 actually be hip anymore?
No.
Is it even possible? Unless you're like,
Probably not.
Hip is in the eyes of the beholder, right? So to other 40-year-olds, we're the coolest.
we could be cool.
Oh, yeah.
We could be
To
cool.
50-year-olds, we're like so
So
spry.
yeah, I know. We know how to like fix phones and computers and
Yeah.
stuff.
My dad is super impressed with how hip I am.
I showed you how to use the stapler on the printer
You
today.
did? Yes, you did. I don't know if that's an old person thing or a young person thing.
Well, you understand nobody uses the word hip anymore.
Yeah,
That's
we're
also
super
part of the
hip.
Yeah,
problem.
they say rad. Rad.
Oh.
Very rad. That's it.
No, my kids are rediscovering music from the early 2000s.
Oh,
Rediscover.
So
Yeah, it's a
That's,
word.
oldies.
that's like vintage. Yeah. Yeah.
A little family business before we get into the show.
'Kay.
Okay? It's family business. By the time this podcast comes out, there's still time for you to sign up to join us for Sunday of Service. That's October 5th. So coming up this weekend, where we'll be collecting food in local neighborhoods to support the Grace Care Center through the winter and serving and loving our neighbors. And also, now that you've heard about every broken place through our Hope Month series for the past 6 weeks, if you're wondering where you fit in all this, sign up for the Destiny Works Calling Quilt Workshop on October 4th. And we added a new date because of how excited people are about this. So October 4th or October 6th, you can sign up for the workshop to learn more about your calling and where God has called you to heal broken places. You can find both of those things at gracechurch.us/hope.
I will say that is one of the most profound experiences.
The calling quilt?
The calling
Yeah.
quilt.
right.
Shout out to Dave Rock.
Yeah, I'm doing it soon. I met with him last week, and we're going to do it.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm going to become
One-on-one.
I'm going to become like a honorary coach.
Certified.
Yeah.
Certified
Cool.
coach. So you can
Yeah.
actually perform calling
Yeah.
quilt
Yeah.
readings.
Right. I haven't had time to do that yet, but
Yep.
I want to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For my work, I think it would be.
And the workshop, I've actually not been to a full workshop, but from what I understand, it is kind of a compressed version in a room with a group of people where he'll walk you through the calling quilt process. It's not as in-depth as a one-on-one, but it is a really, really effective way to think about your life and think about kind of all the influences that have shaped who you are. So I highly recommend it for anyone who's got even a sense of like, what am I here for again? This is the place to start.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful.
So what's new with you guys? What's going on? Milton, it's your birthday. You got big plans?
Just a dinner. A couple of friends taking me downtown to the Eagle's Nest.
Whoa,
very
that's
cool.
a big plan.
For that, then I'll probably hang with my parents and back to work tomorrow.
Yep.
I love it.
Yay.
Yay!
On my birthday, I'm lucky if I go to Chili's,
Right.
much less Eagle's Nest.
Wow.
Well,
that's fun.
I've never been. So
Me neither.
it
That
should
sounds
be
great.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is that the one that rotates?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, fancy.
I think I went there like when I was in
Now
like
you're impressed.
8th grade or something. So I didn't appreciate it and don't remember it.
Yeah,
But
it looks great.
it's awesome.
Yeah. What else is new? What's going on?
I just got off the phone with my scholar friend Stephen Friesen, the one who kind of launched me on this whole journey of nerdy extremism that I'm on.
Nerdy extremism.
Extreme
That's something I haven't
extreme
heard yet.
nerdiness.
But
I don't know.
It's within a specific vein, right?
He wrote the book on the Roman imperial cult and the apocalypse of John, or the book of Revelation.
Cool
And
stuff.
Yeah, it
that
was.
branch of the nerdy
That
extremist.
branch. And so it was my entree into the Roman imperial cult. It was my entree into so much stuff having to do with the province of Asia and Ephesus. And so I after the I met with him in like 2023 after my first Ephesus trip, and was just like bowled over, and I had all these questions, and he was just trying to keep up with my questions. I kept asking him, and so since that time, as I've read a ton more, I've read all of his, like, everything he's written, and I've read and it's launched me onto all these other books, and the books that he's quoting, I've read those now, and like all that kind of thing. So I've got a much deeper understanding. So I've been like, okay, I've been accruing more questions that I can't seem to find an answer to. Would you be willing to meet with me? And we had a great conversation. I asked him about clarification on the term twice Neokoros, when Ephesus called itself that. Was that because of the temple of the Sebastoi or the temple of Hadrian? And he set me straight, and it was very good to answer. Also,
what do you think about that, Milton?
I think Barry needs to go ahead and stop playing and get his doctorate.
Okay,
And
we were just talking about that.
This is what I tell him every time I see you. Go back to school.
maybe I will.
He
but
said, "Stop playing."
Also,
Anyway.
I want that book.
yeah.
You do. All
I
right.
need that book.
Well, yeah, I'll get it to you. I'll get you a copy because it was awesome. He actually is going to send me a copy of his doctoral dissertation.
Whoa.
Which
Wow.
you can only buy it now for like $260 because it's like an academic book. But he's like, I've just got a bunch of copies that they're just sitting around, so I'll send you one. You don't have to pay me. I'm like, are you serious?
Wow.
I will pay you. I will make a donation. It's too important. So
We were on a leadership retreat last week, and there was one day, Barry woke up before I did, and I came downstairs, and all the pastors were in the same house. I came downstairs to Barry furiously writing or highlighting in this book. And I'm like, what are you reading? And he's like, oh, this. And he holds up this book, and it's just called Constantine.
Constantine Revisited is the name of the book.
Yeah. I was like, man, early morning reading. We are all a little bit different. A little bit different.
All wired different.
Yeah.
So that's what is most recently up with me. So
All
what
right.
about you, Maron?
I had a birthday.
Yeah.
I had a birthday on Thursday.
God rules.
Yes,
Happy
he does.
birthday.
He does indeed. He is the Lord of my birthday. Yes.
What'd you do for your birthday?
I hung out with my kids,
Mm-hmm.
my adult kids. We went on we had a choice before us, a lunch place that is close and delicious, or a lunch adventure. And we chose lunch adventure, which really
Was this
just
the
meant,
Yak place?
No, well,
Oh, that was something
no,
different.
that wasn't. That was a different adventure.
Okay.
But we went like clear to the other side of Indy. I think we were in, is it Greenwood?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the name of the
South?
place? Yeah, and we
Yeah.
went to a Burmese restaurant,
Oh, all
and
right.
it was awesome and wonderful. And then we did a Burmese coffee shop, and then dinner as a family. So just a food birthday.
Wonderful.
Lots of food.
That's the past handful of birthdays for you.
That's really all I want.
Like one year you ended up in Nora, Chris's ice cream.
That was a birthday crawl. That was pretty awesome. We went to a Thai restaurant for the appetizer. Then we went to White Castle for appetizer number 2, and then we ended up at Chris's ice cream for dessert.
This is kind of like the you know how much feedback I've gotten about my commentary on camping a couple weeks ago, where I was like, I don't know which is more impressive.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. Maron, you're like, we went to this amazing Burmese restaurant, and you're like, okay, that sounds good. That's impressive. And then you're like, and then we went to White Castle. I'm like, which is it? I don't know if I can trust your judgment.
It's both. It's high-low, you know? It's high-low.
It's definitely high-low.
Yeah.
Last year, you all were at my party and my dad cooked, and he's a chef, and it was so good.
Yeah, your dad's incredible. You need to do that again. I didn't get invited to the Eagle's Nest this year, but whenever your dad's cooking.
Yes.
That's my Eagle's Nest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jaden took me to Woolly
Yak Winery?
But it was like 9 a.m.
Rolls right off the tongue.
We were not going for the winery at 9 a.m. We were going for the pawpaws, which are in season.
He showed up to Wizard of Oz with a pawpaw smoothie.
Yes,
homemade.
Yes. A pawpaw lassi.
What is that?
So he's making a riff on like a Indian beverage that involves like yogurt
Fermented
and whatever.
milk.
Yeah. So he made a pawpaw lassi,
We're
but he also got a bunch of persimmons. And now we're just
what are we doing?
Pawpaw? Slow down. What is a pawpaw?
You ever seen Jungle Book?
You probably know it as well as I do.
Sounds like my grandfather.
I'm gonna say it's a cross. So I think it's the largest native like fruit that we have in the Midwest, but it's tastes like a cross between a banana and a mango.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I had a bite at Barry's house a couple weeks ago.
I have 2 small
I was like, why does this fruit
trees,
taste like pudding?
Yeah.
But it's a banana.
See, I need to try the pawpaw, and I need a book. So
Yeah,
Okay.
so we had the Wizard of Oz movie night, the family movie night, and so we were giving away free smoothies. Like just anyone who wanted a free smoothie, any cafe drink. Jaden walks in with his own pawpaw. What'd you call it? Frosé?
Lassi. Yes.
Yeah.
No, he loaded up on pawpaws at this place. They're really hard to find. First of all, they have a shelf life of like a day, so you have to get them and eat them immediately.
That's why they don't sell them at grocery stores.
Man,
and stuff.
I don't know. You guys. Like I can't think of like 2 other people in my life I would hang out with that would be like, yeah, we've been eating pawpaws recently.
Oh, and
like the 2 of you
excited about it.
Yeah, like Barry brought in a whole handful of pawpaws, and your brother-in-law Kyle was like eating them with a spoon at your house.
Yeah,
it's just I never knew.
Yeah,
I didn't either. That's the point.
I gotta hang out with y'all.
Doesn't it sound fun?
Me and Mary been hanging out lately.
He partied hard.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we went out for your birthday yesterday. You, me, and Jed.
We had a blast.
I have a picture of Milton from yesterday's lunch because the table directly behind him was celebrating a birthday. And so he was framed in perfectly by birthday balloons.
We don't even have to Photoshop you.
He's talking to me and I'm just snapping pictures.
I love it.
What is you? I know I look good, but it's like Dan's right there. I'm like, why is she taking a picture right in front of her husband?
Because he saw what I saw. You were perfectly framed in by birthday balloons.
I don't know what she's doing or what. This I know. Then she shows me. I'm like, okay, I get it.
Got it now, yeah. Liz is probably sitting back there like, why does Tyler have an orange cup on his desk? Because I usually try to keep my cup downstairs. But last week was the annual church database conference.
Yay!
Got to have a sound clip for that.
Yeah. Annual church database conference, and our very own Joanna Burris became, the database is called ROCK. Okay, it's just for churches. That's all you need to know.
No, actually, I need to schedule a meeting because I was telling my other church
about ROCK.
about. I don't.
It's the hottest thing in church databases.
I didn't know what it was called.
Yeah, it's called Rock. But Joanna, so they have a conference every year for churches. And for the past 3 out of 4 years, Grace Church has won some kind of award for the work we've done with our website or our church database or whatever. So
because it's open source.
Yeah,
so she's made modules that other churches have not.
Yeah, so for example, we've made if you're familiar, if you go to Grace, we do the annual Christmas store where you can basically select toys and donate money towards the Christmas store through our website. That is a tool that we've created. And so we won what they call the Gold Award. This year, Joanna went on behalf of Grace, and she won their highest esteemed award for individuals, which is called the Rockstar Award. And she won, which is great. So I'm just giving her a shout out with this cup because it's a rock cup.
I love the fact that there is a place where Joanna Burris is a straight up
rock
celebrity.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. People lining up to meet her. I love it.
Time out. This is open store. That means it's affordable.
Yeah.
Totally.
So
yeah.
I got about 3 questions for you when we wrap.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Rock database.
Serious.
Yeah.
I was just bragging about our system. And for those of you watching the pod, I serve 2 churches, one near the middle of the town in Grace Church. So that's why you see me once a month.
Right.
So I'm trying to use my resources
Yeah.
to help everybody.
All right.
Love it. Love it.
So that's why this is here. We're just celebrating the big win.
That's awesome.
last week.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Joanna.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're wrapping up Hope Month. Do you guys feel hopeful yet? 6 weeks of broken places. do you guys feel like there's reason for hope? The big idea, Milton, you wrapped us all up. For 6 weeks, we were talking about broken place after broken place. We ended with hatred, and you gave the sermon to kind of close us out. So do you mind sharing kind of what the big idea of your sermon was?
The big idea was, the essential question was, how do you love when only hatred makes sense? And first of all, let's make it clear. Barry sits and thinks of the hardest assignment he can give me, and that's what I preach.
We all felt that way in this year's Hope Month. Your dad was talking about oh, sure, Barry, just give me injustice. And I'm like, yeah, pain. That'll be nice and light. And you got hatred.
Well, I don't think Dave Rodriguez can complain about something that is originally his idea. I'm just saying. But I didn't want to, because we heard don't hate. We've heard the Sunday school version of this. It don't work. So
You're
I
right.
wanted to put us in a situation where hatred is the only thing that is sensible.
Yeah, you began kind of interrogating Jesus a little bit. What were you thinking?
Right. And I have this theory about walking around a text. We teach flat Bible scripture. And if the Bible's real, it's not flat. For example, okay, you hung out with your son all day for your birthday. So you could be mad at him for something last week, or you could be avoiding Barry. I'm making this up.
It's a true story.
But what I'm
Where
saying,
are we going? Where are we going, Milton?
what I'm saying
Keep
is,
weaving the web.
the story isn't just you went to lunch for Jaden.
Yeah.
The story is all about this. So
It's not an isolated event.
no, to say Jesus said put away your story, and we act like, oh yeah, that makes sense. No, it doesn't.
Right.
Faith doesn't make sense. So that's why God's ways are higher than our ways. So to the skeptic, you have to be like, yeah, this is crazy, but let me show my work and tell you why it works. So that's why I like to walk around in Scripture.
Yeah.
I don't, because, and I learned it from working with young adults.
Yeah.
Many with that have multiple advanced degrees. You can't just say, there was a flood on the whole earth and we got into an ark. You got to break it down in ways that say, this is logical. Let me show you my work.
And you have an acronym for that.
Yeah, BSI, Bible Scene Investigation.
I love the way you brought that to life.
BSI
at the
Miami?
the beginning of your message yesterday. You walked us through what you mean by that. This is what it looks like to investigate or even interrogate the characters in the story and search the scriptures out in real life.
And God is bigger than our questions. If God is big, we can ask God questions.
You started, you did ask the question in the sermon, and you just mentioned it here as a big idea. How do you love when hatred is the only thing that makes sense? And you first answered it by saying you need to quickly identify the real enemy, and hatred is the real enemy. So as I was thinking about just the broken place of hatred, I was like, I've tried to like just really focus on, so the first week we say separation is the granddaddy of all broken places. Injustice, I kind of felt like, man, if you're a Christian, you have to care about injustice. Maron came after her sermon and she was like, pain is a byproduct of a lot, or the outcome of a lot of these broken places, and it's also a broken place. Hatred to me kind of seems like it's tied to something much deeper and darker than just a broken place, or I don't know. So like,
or is it the gateway drug?
Hatred?
Hatred's a gateway drug.
Yeah.
If I hate you, my morals don't matter. If I hate you, I want work for you.
Yeah.
And this is why I taught it the way I did, because the enemy is trying to rile up hate. Because you can be right and hate something.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I feel like it's more than just like a heart posture. Like I could have different thoughts or postures toward other broken places like isolation or something if it doesn't directly affect me. But hatred's one of those things that I feel like it's possible to affect everyone, and whether you're on the receiving end of it or you harbor it yourself. And I mean, the scriptures you pointed out in 1 John 3:15 and chapter 2 verses 9 through 11, it makes it pretty clear. Like it's something that aligns us with death and darkness. It's not just like our heart. It's like death and darkness, broken place. Which,
I mean, watch history.
Right.
And I'm going to be vague like I was yesterday on purpose, because I don't want somebody to say, yeah, those are the haters. Because if you hate the haters, you're still a hater.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I'm trying to get to. If you go through history, when you start hating people, bad things happen. And really bad things happen. And not only do bad things happen, but it's a cycle.
Yeah.
If I hate somebody that killed somebody I love and I killed them, somebody they love is going to hate me.
That's right.
There's no end to it. So that's why that's why hatred is the enemy itself.
Yeah.
Because anybody can be affected by it. Even if you're on the right side of something.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's a good point of like, if somebody hates me, the natural or human thing for me to do is return that. But I can't be like judgmental and hateful of somebody that is hating other people, because I myself am now doing the thing that I am saying I hate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think there's a difference between recognizing the hatefulness in others and hating them back.
Yeah.
I think it's not the same as to just say, well, everybody's great. No, they're sinful, hateful people in the world. And I don't think it's a sin to call that out, or at least to even acknowledge it. It's just when that turns into hate, that's when we end up in that cycle, as Milton's talking about.
Thank you, Pastor. Love is not powerless.
Right.
I'm going to stay on my point.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get to that.
But I need to go there now.
Okay, we're going there now.
Is that okay?
It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah, you're good.
But because we think, oh, I don't hate you, so I can't say nothing when you hit me in the face. No, Jesus cleared the temple with a cat o' nine tails. Jesus called the Pharisees, you brew the Bibles, you are of your father the devil. Telling the truth is not necessarily hateful. The Bible says open rebuke is better than secret love. I can rebuke you lovingly, but it's the spirit behind it.
Yeah.
And I think what the enemy likes to do is either he wants to be hateful or complicit.
Right. But it's a good point. When Jesus is calling the Pharisees whitewashed tombs, when he's flipping tables in the temple, he is doing that out of love.
Right.
Because he loves the people who are being oppressed by the temple system, and he loves the oppressors and is about to die for them, by them. He's doing it because he doesn't want them to be participating with evil.
And he loves his father.
And he loves
and
his
he
father.
wants his father's house restored to
Exactly.
a house of prayer.
Yeah.
Right.
So it is coming from a place of love, even though we might look at that and be like, oh, but that looks like hate. No, it's not hate. It's love in action in a broken system.
But otherwise we become a den of thieves. Do you ever look at that expression? That's a biblical expression.
Den of Thieves?
Yeah.
It's from Jeremiah?
Somewhere like that. I'm not
Psalms.
sure.
No, literally, I'm teaching on it tonight in the John class, and I don't remember the exact reference, but yes.
But thieves don't steal in their own den. They are protected in their own den. Jesus is not saying they're stealing. He's saying they're protected from being called out.
Matthew 21.
Right, quoting what?
Jesus.
Okay, never mind.
I think, are we drawing a distinction here between anger and hatred?
Great question.
Thank you.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I think Jesus' act of cleansing the temple, clearing the temple, was a demonstration of righteous anger. Again, in love, he loved the people who were being abused by those tactics. He loved his father. He was angry about what he saw.
Yeah.
But not filled with hate.
Right.
But again, these are things that take time to parse out.
Right. Because anger, the Bible says, be angry.
Right. And do not
and sin not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a King James.
I love you. I
But-
love your King James. Nobody
it's-
understands me like you do, man.
King James.
Jeremiah 7.
Well, that's
Jeremiah
partly because New King
7:11.
James is hard to understand.
Right.
Not the new King James, the original King James. It's Jeremiah 7:11. That's the quote.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where Jesus got Den of Thieves.
Right, but anger is a natural emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could be angry with all kinds of people or about all kinds of things. It doesn't mean I have to hate them.
Right.
Right.
You also asked, how do you not hate when everything feels like a threat to you? or to who you are or what you care about? And the answer in the sermon was you have to know how to think. And then you turned our attention to Philippians passage in chapter 2 that invites us to think like Jesus, and it says we must have the same attitude of Christ. Let's talk about what that attitude was, just like the kind of what was that? What was the attitude that we have to have, that we have to know how to think? What does that represent?
It's a
Characteristics of that.
position of power that's willing to sacrifice. In a nutshell, being in the form of God thought it not robbery to be equal with God. I think the one you all know says something to the fact that
although he was equal with God,
he
did not consider. Go ahead, Barry. It's your favorite passage. Equality with
with God
Den
is
of
something
thieves.
to cling to. That's how NLT
Right.
puts it.
Right. And so he's God, but he didn't need to rest on being God.
Right.
So I think what it is saying is knowing I know I'm right, but I'll still sit and have coffee with you and try to understand what you're coming from.
Yeah.
I know I'm right, but I'm not going to hate you. Even though I am so angry that hatred is easy,
Right.
I'm not going to hate you because I understand that you're hurting too. I understand that I want good. Some of us want good for ourselves, and some of us want good. There's a difference.
Right. And I think what makes this conversation so difficult for us is that hatred or the broader cloud of ideas like dehumanization or othering or tribalism, like all of that, it grows out of a very natural human instinct to protect ourselves. Like you said, you talked about the self-preservation instinct that kind of triggers that hatred. And I think for so long, like all of human history was defined by the hatred of the enemy and the crushing of the enemy and the dominance of your own tribe or people or village or clan or whatever. And I think that's what makes the gospel so unbelievably revolutionary, is that we are being called into koinonia, into fellowship, into community with people that are by definition the people we are supposed to hate.
Yeah.
At least the cultural nuance or the cultural DNA that we're all given. Like the Jews are supposed to hate the Gentiles and vice versa. And now you want us to break bread together and you want us to love one another and the Romans are the enemy and now you want us to love our enemies. Like, what are we doing here? This is absolutely, I would almost call it counter to human nature. And yet this is what we're called to do and to be.
Yeah, and this story is an embodiment of it. I mean, you focus primarily, Milton, on in the book of John, chapter 18, verse 4.
All that story.
What's that?
I sent her the Matthew text, and I realized that healing's not in the Matthew text.
Whoops.
Oh.
It's in the Luke text.
Yes.
And then I sent her the John text. But I said that I corrected it with the wrong text. So I had to mention that Luke said he healed it.
Yeah.
Because I realized, like, Wednesday, this is still wrong.
Yeah, so you focused on John, but yeah, like you were saying, it's also mentioned in Luke and Matthew. And there's other details in the Luke passage that aren't in the John passage, namely that Jesus healed the guy who had his ear cut by Peter.
Yeah, the one detail I wanted.
But that's okay. I think what struck me hearing this story, one of the things that struck me is that Jesus not only healed his so-called enemy, he tells Peter, put away your sword, or put your sword away, and then he surrenders himself. So, like, I was thinking about what would have happened if he didn't do that. If it hadn't gone in that order or something, like if he had told Peter, hey, it's all right, just keep your sword out or whatever. If Peter had kept his sword out, that could have sabotaged everything, like the redemption. It could have, because like what, the next day Jesus dies?
Yeah, this would have been Thursday night or Friday morning.
So there's redemption coming.
Right.
There's redemption coming. And so if he had kept his sword out and there would have been a fight, that could have sabotaged the whole redemption, because Jesus also died for, what's that guy's name? Malchus? Marcus? Malchus. He died for Malchus. He defeated death for Malchus, including his enemies. So using a sword could have sabotaged that. Jesus' power. And so what it made me think was like, Jesus' power, and you said love is super powerful, but Jesus' power is always restorative. It's always pointing toward redemption. It's always that.
Always. And it's always under control.
Always under control, yeah.
It's always, because I was joking, but put yourself in the mind of an angel. You're sitting in heaven. Could you imagine you watching the King of Glory getting
If you're an
killed?
angel?
Yeah, being humiliated.
By humans?
Like, what is going on?
By humans? I bet if they were in battle array, waiting for him to flinch wrong.
Yeah.
And they were going to ask for forgiveness, not permission. They were looking for something that they could misconstrue as a command.
Yeah.
I will be with you.
Yeah, I'd have my hand gripped tightly on my sword, ready to pull it out of the sheath the second Jesus said a word.
It'd be like very.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought you said go put them out of the church, not bring them to the altar.
Right.
I heard you wrong. That's all. But
So I have questions about this then, because I don't know about you guys, but I've been on the receiving end of some hate in my day.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. And so
really?
I don't hate the people who hate me or hated me or whatever, or did hateful things against me. I hate what they did, but I don't hate the people. All right. So I honestly want what's best for them. So thinking through, like, Jesus' power is always pointing toward redemption and healing and in control. That's what I want. But I also want nothing. I want to be nowhere near those people.
Yeah.
I want to never see them again. And when I do see them or am in proximity to them, I don't feel hate, but I do feel the need for like boundaries and barriers. So my question was, after like coming to this like thought of Jesus' power and his approach is always restorative, my question was, how do I love like my enemies or my so-called enemies without inviting harm to myself? And then once I asked that question, I was like, but Jesus healed his so-called enemy. He wasn't concerned with himself. He literally surrendered himself. So he wasn't concerned with like harming himself or anything like that. So is that the bar? Is that the bar? Or are there scenarios where we can love from a safe distance that doesn't expose us to more hatred?
We are not Jesus. We are Christ-like. It's like Diet Coke. It kind of tastes like Coke, but not really.
Now you're going to get all the hate.
Yeah,
for
man.
saying that.
Speaking of hate,
Milton at
Milton at Grace Church.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, right.
Oh well, that doesn't exist. Sorry.
not deliverable.
But here's the real thing. I don't have to let you hurt me. I can pray for you from afar, because it's a heart posture. And the Holy Spirit will tell you, sometimes you'll have to heal somebody you don't like. Sometimes you need to stay back. It's a scenario. This, remember, is a specific scenario.
Yes.
Malchus is a bystander.
Yeah.
It's like, why Malchus gotta lose an ear so I can die? That don't make no sense. He slapped the ear on his head and let's go. You got practically, what does Malchus's ear redeem? what does making Malchus disabled do for anyone?
Right.
So heal him. But if you don't like me, Tyler, and you're spouting ableist epithets, or you're being, I don't have to be around that. I don't have to hurt myself in that way until I have an anointing. Because if you go around somebody that without the oil, you're going to hate them. That's the other thing. We gotta realize some of this is, like Pastor said, natural. Like Mary just told you, through all of history, we've been taught to hate the people that don't like us as a form of protection.
Right.
So we need to be aware of what's natural and what's prudent. And so if you can't be around those people and love them, don't be around them. Love them for they're much easier to love from afar. I know people like that.
I don't like to paint with a really broad brush and say it's always this way or it's always that. And what I mean by that is when I agree with you, we are not Jesus. We are like Jesus. But I read these stories of Jesus, and he's not always running after his enemies. Hey, come here, I want to heal you.
Right.
That's not an everyday activity for Jesus. But when he is presented with these moments, these very specific moments where he has an opportunity to show love to his enemy, he does. He does. And so maybe there are seasons where we are retreating to be alone with the Father. And he is preparing us for that moment that's coming. And we are going to have to make a decision. Am I going to love or am I going to hate? Maybe we're alone in the garden with our Father and we're being healed to the point where we can even show that kind of love. I don't think that, your answer would be to go knocking on the door of all the haters and saying, please let me love you. Right? I don't think it's
I'm not going to do that.
I don't think it's that. But I think that you, like Jesus, have had deep healing, restorative moments with the Father.
Yeah.
He has healed you and is healing you and is healing me and you over time. And when we are presented with an opportunity to show the love of Jesus, we will be ready.
Where are we in the text? Just to reinforce you, where are we in the text? The Garden of Gethsemane.
Yeah.
This is right after a retreat with God. There was some spiritual work done before because this is a self-control thing. Can you imagine a fire ant trying to kill you? And you couldn't kill that fire ant?
Yeah.
How much self-control does this take?
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. You said love needs no protection. And we already talked, you said, think like Jesus when you feel like Peter. We often misunderstand love. Love is not powerless. We already talked about that a little bit. You also said love needs no protection. This was the biggest thing for me in this sermon. It was the fact that Jesus says, don't you know what I'm capable of, basically.
I love this. I love
like,
this.
I could call all these angels right now. And he refused to call the angels. This is the biggest takeaway for me. Jesus bore the cross literally the next day. He carried it. He surrendered himself and he suffered through it. He refused to call upon the angels so that he could bear it. He refused to call upon rescue or just owning someone or whatever. He could have embarrassed these guys. He could have humiliated them, but he refused to call on the angels so that he could carry the cross the next day.
Right.
So there was a purpose.
Yeah, it made me think, like, where am I tempted to call on the angels rather than bearing the cross? You think that, or I think that, like, if I'm looking at today's landscape and I'm thinking about all the people that came to mind during the kind of the reflection period, I'm like, who are the faces and the names that come to mind as enemies? Do I think that owning my enemies online, crushing someone in an argument just so I could be like self-righteous, or weaponizing my ideology, or over relationships? So like relationships are literally getting ruined over some of this stuff, like calling on the angels to prove our power or prove whatever. Is that better than bearing the cross? Because that's what Jesus did. That's what he did.
So I think let's walk that text a little bit more. So Jesus is looking towards Calvary. And when we study this seminary, we look at that whole week, right? And Barry will tell you it's like Jesus from Lazarus. I call Lazarus the opening act of salvation. When Jesus heads to heal Lazarus, he's really heading towards Calvary, stopping at Lazarus, stopping and walking through that road when they cry, Hosanna, stopping to destroy all the clowns in the temple. It's a road. So he's not looking at Malchus because his eyes on the cross. I feel my help. I love this podcast. So there's a purpose past. And I think we get caught up in the moment. And the enemy is not playing checkers. He's playing chess. He's playing multiple moves ahead. God's playing chess times a million. God's not, we don't think of what will happen next. I own somebody on Facebook. I feel good. Do they know Jesus?
That's right.
Or do they know the real Jesus?
Right.
Are they saved? Is it redemptive?
That's right.
And he's like, first of all, he didn't need angels. And
yeah, right.
He could have just blinked, right? But what is he gaining by losing? So if I sit across with Maron and we argue for, y'all don't know this, before, Lauren's like my sister now, but before I taught a class to your pastors, and somehow I'm still around.
Yeah.
And I actually re-preached Maron's sermon, and I preached it completely different in order to start an argument. Why?
Because of hate.
No, Tyler.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to follow.
No, Tyler. Stay with me.
Okay.
Over here, you're scaring me, Tyler, because I had an objective to understand. And you know what happened? I ended up preaching it better than you, so because I used some of her work, her exegesis, and because I could show her that I'm not trying to attack you, I'm trying to help you see another perspective. It worked out. But she has to be willing to listen. How bad is this clown comes from I don't know where trying to re-preach my sermon? She could have closed her ears, but there's a purpose. And what's happening in the world is we're shutting down and we're protecting ourselves.
Yeah.
And there's no outcome that's successful. What's the outcome? Do you want to be right or do you want salvation?
Right.
You want to be right or do you want to be a redeemer? Do you want right or righteousness?
Right. Because I think if we really followed people's anger that they're feeling right now to its logical extreme and asked, what do you really want to see happen? The answer, if they were honest, would probably be something like, I want them, whoever they are, gone. I want them destroyed. I want them humiliated. I want them... That's what we want for our enemies. That's what we want for those that we hate. And so I think the idea that Jesus is going through that situation straight into his own destruction and his own separation from the Father, like that is something that speaks to the profound inversion of all of our default settings. You're talking about we need a new default setting of love. Right. And here's what I wonder. Okay, so Peter cuts off the dude's ear. Malchus, is that right? Malchus's ear gets healed, and they go about the story. I want to know what happened the first time Malchus showed up at a church gathering and Peter walked in. Because how's he not going to be a Christian after this experience, right? You know Malchus became a Christ follower. He had to be. So he goes to a church meeting. Peter walks in. Like, what is their experience then? Because they've met themselves. They've met each other now, both before and after the cross.
I think they're dabbing it up. You know,
you think they're dabbing it up?
Sorry about that, bro.
Hey, man, sorry I cut off your ear, dude.
Remember, man, I was a little
they're probably going around making jokes like, "Oh, get my ear this time." Nah, I'm just kidding with you.
Well, think about Paul. This is the story of Paul's life.
Yeah.
Everywhere he went to, this is the guy killing Christians.
Right.
And now we gotta listen to him.
Yeah. I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry for what I said when I was self-righteous.
Let me pastor you.
Yeah.
Right.
And by the way, we all have to love the Gentiles now, and they are equal sharers in the gospel of Jesus Christ. So, let's all just grow our love and compassion even wider.
You're changing everything after you hate. Right. But that's what God does. God wants us to lose what we think we're protecting.
Right. And Paul is constantly talking about the sufferings that we experience as in some way participating in the death of Christ. Like we are actually participating. Yeah. Even in Colossians, he even calls it fulfilling. He's finishing the work of Christ on that cross. Because we are together, we are dying to ourselves, joining Jesus in that self-destruction and that self-giving love, and through that is how we find the resurrection and the new life.
The nice commandment. You know what's not the nice commandment? When Jesus says, if anyone come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross and follow me.
Right.
Mind you, Jesus is alive.
Right.
Jesus has not been crucified. So there's no reference of the resurrection. So it says, if you want to follow me, go somewhere and die. That's what they heard. I got this cross because I got 2,000 years of hindsight. They didn't.
Right.
So what Jesus was saying is you got to be so countercultural that you know that God is so powerful, you can lose everything and still win.
Love can afford to lose. That's what you said.
Right. Yep. Even if there's no chance of coming back, it doesn't matter. They had to... he said he was going to get up. You think they believed that before it happened? Maybe after Lazarus, they might have, maybe he can do it. But before that,
they didn't even understand.
Right, they didn't get it.
All right, we got like 9 minutes before we got to go. So I have one question. We have to, I don't know. This is the broken place of hatred. I want to talk just briefly about this cultural moment that we find ourselves in right now. As we speak, we don't have all the details yet. Hopefully everybody's okay. But as we speak, there's something going on at Westfield High School. Another threat of a shooting, or I don't really know. We just came in here and there was talk of that.
There's helicopters flying around, and
there's something different every day, it seems. Sure. Yesterday, a church was
a Mormon church
attacked.
Was attacked.
Okay. It seems like every day there's a new story about vitriol, revenge, vengeance, retribution, and then we focus on the reaction to that. And so far, recently, it's like even by Christians, we basically, like, the first question is, well, whose side is that person on?
Right.
Whoever attacked the church or the high school or the pundit or whatever, like, whose side is the person on? Because I need to know if they're with me or against me. Like, that's always, and this sermon has an answer that's basically like, that doesn't, like, lift your eyes up.
I don't care anymore. People are dying.
Yeah.
If you talk to me outside church, you know I have strong views. But I gotta lay them. I need to lose those.
Yeah, it's like Christians are still, like, we see all this and we're still reaching for Peter's sword.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Because we've been taught that somehow God's militant. We're missing it. We're trying to protect God. God. There it is. Thank you, Holy Spirit. We're trying to protect God.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to defend. Why God need your defense? Do you know there are angels that are probably born now? They're still mad about the crucifixion. If he wanted to cause some trouble, he could. He doesn't want to be protected.
Yeah.
Because he's looking through, as my grandfather would say, the telescope of time and try to save people. We need to try to save every side. The devil takes no side, so why do we?
Yeah, that's good. That's good because my reflection on that in the midst of this cultural moment was like, who am I being discipled by? And the answer, unfortunately, is probably culture too often. I'm being discipled by culture. I'm being discipled by the news, by the fear or whatever, like the scarcity mindset. That's what I'm being discipled by. And so the challenge of this sermon to me is like, am I going to reach for the sword or am I going to reach for the healing? Because one of those people was Jesus.
Well, and I'm struck, at least in Luke's account, before Peter reaches for the sword, Jesus is praying in the garden. He's really frustrated that his friends keep falling asleep.
Yeah.
But he tells them, you need to be praying so that you don't fall into temptation.
Right.
Had Peter stayed awake and been praying, maybe he wouldn't have reached for his sword. Maybe he wouldn't have been rebuked. But he was asleep at the wheel. He was asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
He preempted Jesus. Jesus steps out, says, I am he. Who are you looking for? It's me. Jesus is going like a lamb to the slaughter. And if you read Luke's account, the disciples say, hey, we got these swords. Should we use them? But Peter's not even going to ask. He just lob.
Yeah.
Just whop.
Wow.
Yeah.
He gets ahead of Jesus.
Yeah.
How often do we jump ahead of the Spirit? How often do we jump ahead of Jesus? And how might we be people of love, people of self-control, people of power if we are given to prayer?
Yeah.
Go back
That's right.
to Gethsemane.
Yeah.
Go back to
the garden.
And go fight.
Yeah. Who are you being discipled by?
Right.
Yeah. How are we feeling about Hope Month? Hopeful? Fired up with hope or angry at broken places? How are we all, like, temperature check? How are we feeling?
I'm glad we did it. I think it's always really important to do. Obviously, it is difficult to feel extremely hopeful when you're acknowledging all the ways that the world is broken. And we picked all 6.
All of them.
And just gave you just a little sampler platter of horrors of our broken world. So I would understand if you got if Grace wasn't feeling like exceedingly joy-filled and hopeful, but I think we tried every week to really paint the picture of hope. So I would hope, there it is, that everybody at least is able to take away with, like, this is what God is up to in the midst of this thing that has me so low.
I'm thanking God that I was challenged because I'm angry.
Yeah.
I'm angry. So I need to be reminded to go back to the garden.
Yeah.
And fight in the spirit.
Yeah.
For we wrestle not with flesh and blood.
Yeah.
But principalities and power.
Yeah.
And spiritual witness in high places.
Yep. Maron, how you feeling?
I think we started this series with Romans 12:9. And I just want to read this. This is how I'm feeling. I am feeling hopeful. I feel like the response to the calling quilt is an indication of who our people are. Mm-hmm. They care about being Christ's hands and feet in this world. They care about moving into broken places. They know that they don't have to fear moving into broken places. They just want to know, where are you sending me, Lord? Yeah. Where are you sending me? So I just want to read Romans 12, just the end of that passage. Don't just pretend to love others. Really love them. Hate what is wrong. Hold tightly to what is good. Love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. Never be lazy, but work hard and serve the Lord enthusiastically. Rejoice in our confident hope. Be patient in trouble and keep on praying. When God's people are in need, be ready to help them. Always be eager to practice hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Don't curse them. Pray that God will bless them. Be happy with those who are happy and weep with those who weep. Live in harmony with each other. Don't be too proud to enjoy the company of ordinary people. And don't think you know it all. Never pay back evil with more evil. Do things in such a way that everyone can see you are honorable. Do all that you can to live in peace with everyone. Dear friends, never take revenge. Leave that to the righteous anger of God.
Is that our new outro?
It's a little long. It's a little long, but I think it captures what we talked about for all of the weeks of Hope Month. And again, rejoice in our confident hope. Mm-hmm. Be patient in trouble and keep on praying. Mm-hmm. That's how I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm. Where are we going to go next, Barry?
So we have this coming Sunday is going to be Sunday of service, where we're all going to go out together. And instead of worshiping in our sanctuary, we're going to worship through service. So we're all going to go and collect food for our care center. It's going to be great. It's always such a amazing time of service. And I love all ages. Kids are helping sorting the food and all that. It's really great. And then after that, we are going to, as I mentioned this past weekend, we are going to do a 3-week special series that kind of digs a little more deeply into some of these social moment kind of questions. We're going to talk specifically about the supremacy of Christ over the powers of this world. And I'm probably going to be more direct about some of the things that are going on in our world than I have been maybe ever. I think it's going to be pretty important, pretty meaningful, and pray for me, folks, that it leads us to a place of concord and harmony and not a place of further anger and hatred. I want this to be a healing and also kind of visionary invitation to the people of grace, because we have a responsibility to follow Jesus to the cross, not to the, not whipping out the swords.
Yep. What are we calling it? Christ above.
Christ above all.
All. Yeah. All right. So still time to sign up for the Sunday of service and the Calling Quilt workshop. You can do that at gracechurch.us/hope. Milton, thanks for being here. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I love you all.
We'll see you next time you're here, all right?
Hopefully.
Yeah, we got to schedule that now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Maron, will you please send us out?
I will. Do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God.
And we'll see you on the other side of Sunday.